Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. I'll be your show host, and Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area is your show sponsor. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is brought to you by the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area. We want you to get out and discover the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of the Mississippi Hills that are right in your backyard. And of course, we want you to take the Shark 102.3 FM along for the ride. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark. And today in Sun Bear Studio, I have with me Miss Charlise Latour, and we are going to talk about dancing and singing with the king that happens every year over in Tupelo. Charlise, thanks for coming back.
I am so delighted to be here. And we're actually just talking about dancing with the king today. We started off doing dancing and singing in one weekend, and we discovered that was exhausting. And so singing will actually happen in January.
Okay, so there's two separate events now.
There is. Dancing with the King is a nonprofit as a special project of the Create Foundation. We raise money to have dance lessons in area schools. We also give dance education scholarships to youth. And on the singing side, we do vocal education and we do vocal education scholarships.
How do you raise money to do this?
Dancing with the King is really our big fundraising event. We have a much bigger turnout because we've been doing it longer. And we sell sponsorships, we write some grants, but we also have tickets available to come watch the fun.
It's October 18, 19, and 20 technically, but let's start with 18.
The 18th, Friday night, is our big deal. It is a sock hop dance party, includes dinner, and we have a celebrity dance competition. So our celebrity dancers this year are Arian Emerson, Dr. Anthony Golding, Espantasia Edwards, Jake White, Josh Mitchell, Christy McMillan, Logan Tate, Dr. Marion Winders, Ron Oswald, and Russell Curry. And so that night, you're going to get to have dinner. There's going to be 50s music playing, mostly Elvis. You can dress up in your 50s outfit if you want to. And there will be at the celebrity dance competition. And then our preteens also compete that night. So you'll get to see some of the young dancers as they get out there and dance for scholarships. There's a silent auction, which is really has lots of cool things in it, and a wonderful thing to do on a Friday night that raises money for a great cause.
Are those tickets $50?
$50 for grown people, and there's a youth price that's $35, and if you're 10 and younger, it's free.
Okay, so you could do a little family night and let your younger people in your family see how cool it is to ballroom dance.
Absolutely.
Now, these celebrity dancers, do you see some true ballroom dance like quick step and waltz? And
you do, but it's set up to be very entertaining. So it is true ballroom dance, but it is, we call it show dance because it's designed to be a show. If you've ever watched ballroom dance, sometimes it looks kind of like, oh, they're just kind of floating around, and that's exciting, kind of. But it's a lot more exciting when they're really getting out there and showing their stuff.
It really is an art that people can get out there and learn so much about yourself from. And I just feel like I should be saying it over and over again. Get out there and try ballroom dance. It's awesome.
Well, I agree with you. And part of what we talk about with the kids in particular, think about your kids who didn't really have a lot of life before COVID. And so they got taught during COVID, you don't touch other people. You don't go ahead. Other people are scary. They can be dangerous. And so one of the big things we're teaching young people is how to appropriately touch another person, and that it's actually okay to do so appropriately. We're also teaching people how to have some social graces. How do you talk to another person? How do you cooperate? Because you can't dance with another person without cooperating and communicating. But you know what one of the coolest things I think is when you dance with somebody else who might look different than you and they might come from a different background than you get to figure out that they're a lot more like you than you might have otherwise thought. And so it breaks down some of those barriers that exist in our society that keep people from connecting with each other.
Friday night is the celebrity dancers, and that's people from the community who have given up their time to learn a ballroom dance program to present, and they are in competition with each other.
Correct.
And you pay $50, you get dinner, and you get to watch this awesome show.
Correct.
Now, what happens Saturday?
So Saturday is when you get people who are dance enthusiasts like me. I've been dancing for this December will be 14 years. And so, my skill is different now than it was 13 years ago. And so you get to see people like me dance. And so we have, again, dinner, there's dancing, but there's also the opportunity to see people from our region. So we've got people coming from Tuscaloosa and coming from Biloxi and coming from... we have people actually coming in from Phoenix and Tennessee, too. So we've got people who are from a little further away. So it gives you a big group of people to see people at different levels of their development. And that's when we have our teen and our young adult competition. So you also get to see the young people and as they progress. But if you like watching things like Dance Like the Stars or So You Think You Can Dance, this is the night for you. It is so much fun to see all the different things because we get to go ahead and really pick what we want to work on, and some of us work on it for a lot longer than others, and so some things are more polished, and it's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
And what do you call that level of dancing? Is that pro dancing or...
No, this is still amateur dancing.
Okay, amateur.
Though, like, I dance with my professional partner, my teacher. So a lot of us are dancing with our pro. There are some that are couples that are dancing with each other. And then our pros put on numbers together. So you also do get to see some professional numbers as well.
And where does all this take place?
At the Tupelo Furniture Market, Building 5.
And where do people get tickets?
At dancingwiththeking.com. Tickets are on sale through the 13th of October. So the morning of the 14th, we turn that off because we have to give our caterer a real number for dinner. And once we give him that number, that's the number. And so I can't change the number after that date.
Do you want to say who your caterer is?
Yes, it is the Kingfisher Catering Company with Mac at Kingfisher.
Okay. And anybody else, any other sponsors that you want to give a shout out to?
We always want to thank the Tupelo Elvis Fan Club as our presenting sponsor. They have been a huge support for us. We just appreciate them so much.
All right, so we've talked about Friday and Saturday. What happens on Sunday?
So if you've ever watched a movie and you see people, and you've got the guys have the numbers on their back and ladies wearing their fancy dresses and they get out there and they compete and there's couples on the floor and they announce like couple 101, come to the floor. And then there's judges sitting there looking real serious. That's what happens on Sunday. So it's a traditional ballroom competition and you can actually watch it here in person for $15.
At the same place?
Mm-hmm.
At the same furniture
At the furniture
building?
market, yes.
Okay. Tell one more time how people can buy tickets, the dates, and the location, please.
Yes. So the events are October the 18th for the sock hop, October the 19th for the show dance spectacular, and October the 20th for the ballroom competition. Everything happens at the Tupelo Furniture Market, and you can get tickets at dancingwiththeking.com. And the tickets for the two Friday and Saturday night parties go off sale on the 13th of October. The tickets for the ballroom competition stay up because there's not a meal associated with that.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming and telling us about this. Shark fans, I really do encourage you to get out there and check this out. It's such a great thing to know about. And once you see people ballroom dance, you're going to want to do it yourself.
And it's not scary. Because people say, oh, I can't do it, it's scary. I don't know how to dance. Well, you didn't know how to drive before you took some lessons and had somebody sit next to you in the car and those sorts of things. Dancing's not different.
It's scary, Charlise, but it's worth it. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. Just be brave and get out there and do it, even though it is a little bit scary. Okay, y'all, this has been Charlise Latour talking about Dancing with the King. That is October 18 through 20 over in Tupelo. Go to, say it one more time, Charlise.
dancingwiththeking.com.
And get your tickets. Thanks for coming over.
My pleasure.
All right, Shark fans, that's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's going on from our local community leaders. If you have a question, a comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023 and have a great rest of the day.
The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area was established by the United States Congress in 2009 and represents a distinctive cultural landscape shaped by the dynamic intersection of Appalachian and Delta cultures. This intersection has produced a powerful concentration of nationally significant cultural icons, including King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, First Lady of Country Music Tammy Wynette, blues legend Howlin Wolf, civil rights icons Ida B. Wells-Barnett and James Meredith, America's favorite playwright Tennessee Williams, and Nobel-Laureate William Faulkner. The stories of the Mississippi Hills are many and powerful, from music and literature to Native American and African American heritage to the Civil War. The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area supports the local institutions that preserve and share Northeast Mississippi's rich heritage. Begin your discovery of the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of our region by visiting the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area online at mississipphills.org.
This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted, and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady.